Hello, welcome. I'm Claudia if you're new here. Today we're going to do quite a bit of repots. A couple of weeks ago I tended to a ton of things over in my grow racks and I opted to keep a lot of them in small containers, whether in pond or continue them in stratum, and several of them, a lot of them, are ready to be placed into a more permanent growing situation. So we are going to tend to all of those. I also just received some pretty special new plants that I unboxed with you, and I can link that video down below, or both videos I should say down below, in case you're interested. And we are going to set those up as well. I decided to break these repots because there are quite a bit that we need to do into those that are going in semi-hydro and those that are going into an aeroid mix. So today we will be working on those that are staying in semi-hydro, and then the next set of repots we will work on those that are going to be in a soil substrate or aeroid medium. I hope that sounds good to you. Let's get into it. If you watched my grow rack video, basically all the plants in that first box that we tended to are ready to be graduated into a more permanent growing situation and gen pop. So we are going to be doing all of those. Total, we are doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plants. Should be pretty easy though. A lot of them, or no, 3 of them are already in pond, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are in stratum, so it should be a pretty easy transfer. And then there's only 2 of them and they're the new plants that we are switching their current substrate into, one of them pond and one's going into stratum. I'll give you a brief update on each of the plants as we go, but I thought it would be fun to start with Anthurium Michelle, because if you know, you know. I have struggled with Anthurium Michelle for as long as I've had it. I don't even know how it came back this time, but it shot out 2 growth points. It's like the chonk, and yeah, I'll take it. So let's start off with this one. I want to use one of these pots, even though it's a little bigger than I would actually like, but I think it's important for Anthurium Michelle and I to build trust. So we are going to, I want to make sure that I can keep an eye on the roots as we are transitioning into this bigger pot and just growing situation. So I have Lechuza pond just right next to me. Maybe I should bring it over here though, actually. Just for easier access. And I'm just gonna gently, or as gently as I can, bring it out. Gonna reuse this pond because no reason not to. And here she is. And she's all set. I think she looks so cute already. I mean, she's gotta grow into the pot, but I think that this will be a good home for her, I hope. And we're done with our first one. This was way too much water that ended up dropping, but I will go ahead and just use it on the next one. I ordered more of these small pots that you've seen me use throughout, but apparently these are even smaller than the ones that I've used previously. I do think that they will work for some of the plants that I have going on here, but I am concerned that in general they are just too small. But let's see how it goes. I really want to do this one next. This is the Silver Chrome Warocqueanum hybrid. It's trying to push out a new leaf, but you can see it's kind of stuck in there. So let's see if it'll work. I mean, they are pretty adorable. I guess we can give these cups that much. But those other ones that I used to use all the time with the water meter, the little ones, I found that they were just not very good, for lack of better description, I guess. Eek. Yeah, I'm gonna need something bigger for this. Trying to think. How cute does it look though? Okay, we'll come back to you in 1 second. Let's try this one. This one is the one that Kriya labeled as Kriya's Creation. She's not really sure what it is. I feel like this one already has way too many roots though. Like this is not gonna fit for sure. Yeah. We need something bigger for these. Okay. I didn't really bring, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go look and see where those fit into. All right, we're gonna move into the stratum ones because I'm not sure what pot these are going to go into. I think for sure we can add this. I purchased this as a Fanny Moser begonia, but I think we won't know for sure until it starts growing a little bit more. And I had said that it wasn't growing at all, it wasn't rooting. It's only been a few weeks, maybe 3 weeks tops, since I placed it in stratum, and it has a ton of roots, and it's giving me 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves. This is the newest one right here. So I love stratum. I'm actually thinking that that little cup might not work for this either because the stem is too long. I'm gonna have to go grab something else. And this is just base with water to get rid of any of that stratum hanging out on the roots. Okay. Yep, going to need something else. All right, let me grab other options. I'm running into the same situation where I just don't love my options, but these are my options. Okay, so these I loved, and particularly for anthurium and alocasia, which I would love to use for one of these anthurium, but really it's my only option for this one. So we're gonna use it for that because the stem is so long. Missing the wick. Found the wick. I'm trying to like even look around. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else that this one would fit into. And I mean, really looking at it, it seems pretty ridiculous for the size of these roots, but in fact, that does worry me. I mean, we don't have too many options, so this is what it has to be. It's cute in here, but this pot wouldn't be my first choice for a begonia. It's gonna bother me for a while until I get used to it or find a different pot I think is more appropriate. Okay, but she's all set. I brought these pots to use for the anthurium, so we'll do Kriya's Creation here. These catch pots or outer pots need a good wipe, even though I did wash them. Okay, she's done. We will do the other one in the same type of setup. Oh, it is so, oh my gosh, I think I may have broken it. Okay, let's just let it be. Okay, this guy's ready. Let's do this one next. So this is a Watsoniana Lightning, and it has a ton of roots. There's a new leaf coming. I typically wouldn't want to mess with it in here, but I feel like it's going to appreciate it. And I really hope those tiny pots work for it, because otherwise I have no idea what I'm doing. So this was the top cut. I remember being so afraid to, or like, I didn't realize that I could just also chop alocasias the way that we chop other plants, and it's kind of like a restart. But since I've done it with success, I feel like that's my go-to move now with alocasias. Like, I know that, you know, you're pretty much restarting, but sometimes they need it. And not just alocasias, I feel like all plants. A good restart is a nice little thing. We are going to try this one more time. It works! I was already thinking, like, I think I'm gonna have to just return these because clearly they're not going to work. These tiny little pots are obviously a very temporary home for the plants, but I think it's good when you first transit. For me anyway, I like to keep a close eye, and I would rather repot sooner, and then that way I'm keeping a close eye on the roots as well, like making sure that everything's going smoothly, versus putting them, like, I don't love that these went into this size, even though the roots are actually pretty good, but particularly this one, I feel like it is far too large for the root system that had. But yeah, so these have the little window, and I usually just display them this way because no need to show the window. Okay, so that's it. This is the Watsoniana Lightning middle chunk. So we'll do this one next. And it only shot out one growth point, but that's okay. I'm happy to have it. And I'm happy to have 2 lightning plants now, basically, because the, you know, the top cut and this chunk, I want to say my base rotted off. I might need to take this one into the sink, I think. But my lightning, I have issues, or I have had issues holding on to more than one leaf at a time, and I don't know why. Because it's given me, it's a slow grower, but it's, in that time, it's given me like huge, beautiful leaves. So it's strange to me that it wasn't happy enough to hold on to more. I don't know. I wanted to try one of these small pots again for that one. Well, I mean, I wanted to try it for a lot of them, but we've seen how that's gone. Yeah, but this actually fits very nicely. Cutie. This leaf is on his way out, but that's okay. Have this leaf and another one on the way. Okay, and then this is my variegated ninja albo. So the new leaf it gave me, this is the top cut. The new leaf it gave me after I chopped it is all green. I don't think there's even a speck of albo. But it rooted really nicely and really quickly. So we are going to transfer her as well. This came out so easily. Here we go. I was thinking of using the same little pots. pretty much the only plant from that box that we are not or that, you know, prop box clear faux greenhouse thing that we are not potting up today is my pink black velvet, because it gave me 2 pink leaves in a row. I think it was giving, or it had given me 1 pink leaf when we were working with it with the grow rack, and since it gave me another all pink leaf. So yeah, we're not investing anything on it until it shows and proves it actually wants to live. Okay, so we have all our plants done from the box. Now let's do this anthurium. This is a Dorayaki Lux hybrid. I unboxed it with you, and I want to get it out of sphagnum moss and into pon, but I'm quickly realizing I'm going to need a different pot because those little ones are not going to work. Well, let's get rid of the root, the moss first. I can see a lot of very nice healthy roots all over. This is nice. I know I've said this before, but I just very much dislike sphagnum moss, and particularly growing or rooting in it, because again, it's not going to be my long-term thing, and to remove it is such a pain. Obviously it makes a difference. Like, I can tell this is like the long fiber, the quality sphagnum moss, so it's a little easier than like the cheaper, better grow that we can get at hardware stores, but I still don't like it. I'm gonna for sure take this over to the sink and rinse the roots to make sure that I get all of the sphagnum moss off. And then I need to find something that I'm gonna pot this in, because those little pots won't work, and I didn't bring any more of these other ones. I really would love an in-between size, like an in-between this and then the tiny ones. Just haven't found anything. And I would really love it if the inner pot was clear, but that's even harder to find. Okay, I'm gonna take this over to the sink and rinse it off, and I'll be right back. I found one of my 4-inch, so they're just like those teeny tiny ones, but I guess these are 4-inch. Not I guess, yeah, they're, I mean, you can see the size difference. So that's what I'm gonna use for this Dorayaki Lux hybrid. And these also just work on a wick. And I will clean this up when I'm done with this one, because the next one we are removing soil, so yeah. I don't want to create a bigger mess. I guess this is a perfect in-between size between this and the tiny one. So maybe I just need to order more of these 4-inch. I am gonna take some of my nutrient-rich cocktail from the Michelle because it was too much and I don't want it sitting in too much water when this is already a much bigger jump than I would have loved to give it. Oh, he looks cute. Look how cute. Okay, let me clean this up real quick and we will take care of the last one. Just one to go. I just showed you this plant in a very special unboxing and I did debate whether I should bring it out of the soil right away or not, but I opted with yes because that's just what I've done and what's worked for me, and I'm gonna give it lots of humidity and put it in stratum so that it can acclimate and rehab, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, I love it when it's so easily starts falling off the root system. So it isn't a plug, which I was expecting. But I always do get a little bit more nervous with plugs, just because I would rather not intentionally rip any of the root system if possible. And I feel like with the plugs, it is a little bit unavoidable. Or like more likely, I guess. This feels like a sponge plug. But it's not hard like a lot of times they are, like just dehydrated. So I'm glad I'm doing this now, actually, especially. I hadn't even considered, I mean, I was expecting a plug. I'm not surprised to see it, but it's not something I considered when like moving it out of or not. But knowing it has a plug for sure, like I'm really glad that I am, because I would rather just get it out of the plug. Like the sooner the better. I just try to be as gentle as I can. Got, I don't know, 99% of it off, I feel. I usually would rinse it, but because it's such a baby, it's in a plug and all of that, I'm just going to leave it and place it in stratum. What I didn't bring is a cup, so I need to go get a cup. I'll be right back. Just have one of these plastic cups. I use these a lot for my props. And we are going to reuse some of the stratum that we used, or that we are no longer using from earlier, because I am all out of stratum. And these were only in there for maybe 3 weeks tops. Let's use this. Something about it feels so unstable. Okay. I need to go get more water, but this is what she will look like, and I'm gonna place her over in my grow rack. In a humidity box, and hopefully she will acclimate and grow, and yeah, it'll just all be great. One last thing I want to do is spray them with my DIY pest repellent. this is just something I really want to incorporate into my routine when I water or clean an area or tend to a particular plant, just as a preventative. And obviously if there were to be something around, then you know they won't linger. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray them down. And I'm also thinking, I was initially thinking that most of these would live in my Millsville wide, but I actually have quite a bit of room in my Millsville tall. And like my begonia and the Michelle, I actually don't think are gonna go in cabinets. So I have to think about where they're gonna go. But that's exciting. Okay, so just give them a, ooh, maybe not so. Ah! Here we go. The sprayer's good. It's a lot. I should have probably done this like in the shower or in the sink at least, but that's okay. That's okay, that's okay. Okay, so we are all done and very wet. That's okay. I'm gonna let them just hang here while they air dry in ambient, and then I will put them away. And the leaf popped. You probably didn't see it. I'll insert some B-roll of what it looks like, but it just popped open after the spray, which, you know, sometimes they need. But it is interesting that it was getting stuck because it was in semi-hydro and I'd never let that go dry. So that's interesting. Anyway, we are all done. I am so happy that these are set up and I can start enjoying them in my space. There's more room in the grow rack for other plants that might need it. And I'm excited to see these grow through this growing season and see what they look like at the end of the year or at the end of the growing season. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave me a comment down below if you watched all the way through. If you have any questions, of course, please leave it down below, and I will see you very soon. Bye.